Hello guys and welcome to this video. Today we are building Diona. Once again, if one of my free subscribers still remember me, I made a Diona DPS guide 3 years ago. Not 3 years ago, that's 3 subscribers. I made a Diona DPS guide like around a year or two ago. And since then I kinda stopped uploading. But I've just recently come back and it's thanks to this comment right here you can see, where this guy asked me to build an updated build guide for Diona. So you know what? You ask and you shall receive. Here it is. So, first of all, there's been a couple of new adjustments to like what you can do with Diona. But the first thing I want to go over really quick is the build that I put her on. So, first of all, in terms of weapons, she's still in the stringless, like she was last time. I do think stringless is a fine weapon for her, but like, honestly, if you do want to build DPS Diona, it would be better to get like a 5-star stat stick, and probably some that like increase charge attack damage as well. So if you have those weapons, you'd want to put them on her instead of the stringless, because like the passive is kind of useless right here. She doesn't really do all that much damage with the burst. She just do some with her skill, but we aren't really skill maxing in this team, so it's kind of useless here. Other than these stats, like base attack, it's pretty high, and EM is nice, right? So that's pretty cool. In terms of artifacts, you have a couple of different options. The one I'm going with is the Wanderer's Troop. You get 80 EM and 35% damage bonus for charge attacks. So we have this flower here. You can see it has a lot of crit rate and a bit of crit damage, not all that much. And then you have some ER, which you do need because you need to have your burst up. We have her crit flower, which has a decent chunk of crit rate, a lot of crit damage, and some ER as well. Very nice. Then we have this Sands here with EM main stat, and then it has crit damage, crit rate, and flat attack. That's nice. We have this here off piece with a lot of chunk of crit damage and a bit of crit rate, and then a tiny bit of attack percent. You do want attack percent on this build as well. That's pretty important. And then we have the last piece here, which is honestly pretty horrible, but I needed like a head. Yeah, I tried leveling one and it didn't go all the way. You can see 2 and HP and defense. You don't really need this. Like HP is good if you do want to like build her normally, right? But it's not good in this scenario, right? Yeah. Her artifacts are honestly pretty mid, and you can min-max a lot more than I have here. I'm just gonna like showcase what you can do with Diona. So, why would you want to build Diona as a main DPS, right? And honestly, there isn't really all that much reason to do it, right? Like, you do get some stuff with her cores, like you get some levels for her stuff, but here is like the main stuff, right? C4. Within the radius of signature mix, Diona's charge time for aim shots is reduced by 60%. So that's pretty cool. That's like play into like a DPS playstyle for Diona, because why would you do that otherwise? Like charge attacking with Diona is kind of weird. Then you get some more levels, and C6. Characters within signature mix, that's her ult. So you get to play Circle Impact, gain the following effects while in the radius. So increases incoming healing bonus by 30% when HP falls below or is equal to 50%. So basically when you're low on health you heal more, that's nice. But this is the main one. Elements and Mastery is increased by 200 when HP is above 50%. So you get 200 HP as well as a 60% reduction on your charge shots, which allows you to do some pretty cool stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much what you can do with Diona. And as you can see, I have her talents at 9, 10, and 10. I'm thinking of leveling this one up. Actually, I've already gathered the materials, so like I'm wondering if I should do it. But yeah. Okay. Other than Diona, we of course have her teammates as well, and I'll show the premium team that I have for her, like the best team I could possibly build for her, as far as I know, right? We have Morvika. She's pretty good because she applies Pyro, and we want to Melt, because Melt is the primary reaction you can do with her charge attacks. And Signature Mix with 200%, not 200%, 200 Elemental Mastery bonus, right? So you get 200 EM, which is then almost 700 EM for Diona, and then she can melt her hits, right? So that's pretty cool. So we use Morvika as an off-field character, right? She's on Red Horn. Her artifacts are the damage set, because we have what she calls Shalonen over here on the buff set, and her talents are like this, right? That's pretty decent. Then we have Bennett as well. He is a great attack buffer. He's in Scarlet Blade, and he should be on Noblesse. There he is, he's on Noblesse, and he is C6. You honestly only really want C1, and the rest of them are like nice, but they're not necessary, right? So yeah. And he has his talents at level 11. So that's pretty cool. Then we have Shilonen. She is on the Favonian sword because Bennett especially needs a lot of EM to get his circle up, so it's pretty nice to have Shilonen before him so he can like get more energy particles. In terms of artifacts, I wrote her on the Scroll of Center City. Pretty cool, no constellations. And she is 3-10-6. So that's my Shilonen. She's pretty good. And yeah, that's basically like the team comp for Diona here, right? And I'll quickly go over and showcase like how it's meant to play, and then I'll show some other alternatives for the team comps that you can do with Diona, right? Alright guys, so we are currently at like the Dorito chip guy, and I'll just quickly showcase how this works, right? So we go into him, we E with Diona to apply cryo, go into Shilonen, like he's not taking damage yet, but it's fine, we're just setting up the rotation anyways. Go into Mora, stuff, Diona, and now we can see her damage, right? So we go boom, 43k, boom, boom, 42k. It's really nice, like again, like the damage just start falling off, right? But like as you can see, she does a pretty decent amount of damage here, right? Like we got him halfway already, right? And that's with a non-optimized build, non-optimized rotation and stuff like that. So I feel like that's pretty good. You can see he's over there right now. Yeah, he's not really sneaky because he has the arrows, but like he's doing his best. Yeah. One of the problems with this team comp is actually there's like how squishy Diona is, which you don't normally like notice, because she's a shielder, right? But she's really squishy. Other than that, you need to be careful of like your energy needs, because like Diona has a pretty high energy cost. As you can see, she has 80 energy cost, right? And it's the same thing with Bennett, has 60. Diona generates a lot of particles, but like an 80 energy cost is a lot. These two have their energies up like all the time, right? You don't need to worry about the Netherlands characters, they're good. But you need a lot of ER on these guys, right? So yeah, do be mindful of that. But yeah, so as you can see, that went pretty well, right? 40k charge attacks with Diona, like with a non-optimized build, is pretty good, right? And especially when you take into account like how quickly I was firing those, or how quickly I could fire those charge attacks, right? They're like pretty good. Like this is like the normal about run, but like a 60% reduction in that is pretty good. I'll really quickly like reroll the clip so you guys can see how that worked. I should be able to find some footage of that. Yeah. Okay guys, so now you've seen like how the premium 5-star team that I have like works. How we can go ahead and like showcase some supports that they can use other than these guys, in case you don't have like 2 premium 5 stars as he's expanded, right? So first of all, I want to mention like animal units like Katara Kazuha is pretty good because he like buffs damage like a lot. He's basically like a replacement for Shilonen. I think he actually like does more damage amplification than Shilonen, but he doesn't have like healing, of course. So you do need to like think about, is that worth like to get enough healing from Bennett and Diona, or do I need like a Shilonen option, right? Also, if you run Kazuha, you can't really run Mawika that well because you don't really get her burst up in time, because you don't have Netherlands characters, right? So that's another thing you need to like make sure of, like, right? Other than that, you can run characters like Lanyan, which is actually a character that I really like in this team. So she has the deficit just like Kazuha. She gives around, I think it's 50 enemy EM she gives, as well as providing a pretty damn big shield, right? Which makes this team a lot more comfortable to play, because Diona is really squishy, as I mentioned before, and like healing is nice. But like I tried testing this team against Mercenary, and like on like Midnight Mercenary, he like one-tapped my Diona, and like on normal he like two-tapped her. So like she dies really easily, so like a shielder is really nice. Again, if you're not running Shilonen and you're running something else, Mawika isn't really an option. You can run stuff like Shin here instead if you want to. Of course, she buffs cryo damage, she reduces their cryo resistance, and she also gives normal and charge attack damage bonus on her whole skill. So she gives a lot of different buffs that are nice for the team. So that's something you can consider as well. Xinyan is actually a character that can be a Mawika replacement in most comps. She is strictly worse, don't get me wrong, but she does have some pretty cool stuff that you can do with her. Her power application is about the same, actually. It is tied to her skill though, so you need to be careful of that. Like you need to have your shield up, otherwise you won't apply pyro. But yeah, her power application is the same amount as Mawika actually. So she's pretty decent actually, if you run her properly. And she can hold stuff like a Fav weapon alongside the instructor set. So her personal damage isn't great, but she can be a pretty decent support option, right? the last couple options here I want to mention are like Katina and Aino, and they're kind of like placeholders, right? Katina is for the Center City artifact set, where like, of course, Marcelone is holding it here, but you can use another Netline character if you want to, as long as it doesn't like interfere with your reactions, right? So that's an option you have. And it's the same thing with Aino. You can use like the what's it called, like the new artifact set from Notcry, right? She's currently in the structures, but I'm thinking of this set here, the Silken Moon Serenade, right? That's a pretty decent set as well, alongside like the Moonside buffs and stuff like that. And then you can possibly even run your Diona on like the new Notcry DPS set, right? You can't do that for the Netland one because you need to have them in the Night Soul state. But with the Notcry one, you can run Diona on the Notcry DPS set. Of course, these are only like the characters I have. Another comp that you could probably do with this team is running something like a Scoffy and Marina on a team, possibly with Shenhe or another buffer, and then Diona as the main DPS. Again, like you would probably be better off like main DPSing someone else, but you can't do that. The problem here is that you don't really utilize Diona's EM buff. You just get like the charge attack reduction, which, don't get me wrong, is nice, but it is a bit of a waste. Like if you want to main DPS Diona, you won't get all of like her own buffs on the team, so it will be more like just like you slot Diona in, but it won't really like synergize with her all that well. So yeah, it does buff her E damage a lot, so that would be pretty nice. But yeah, again, like any pyro character that like a buff, like can apply enough pyro is good. Xinyan is one of them, Xiangling is another one, and then any like anime character honestly is also pretty good, and stuff people that can hold like Scrollers in the City is also good in this team. So like it's a bit like mix and match like what you want. You just need to make sure that like you're getting all of the buffs. Like again, Maurika is good. She loses a lot of value if she's not run with another Netland unit. So like just make sure that like your team has all the necessary stuff to run. With that said, I'll go ahead and showcase this team over here. This is like a free-to-play option. Like if you don't have the characters, you can run Xiangling instead of Maurika. I actually would rather run someone like Xinyan, but I don't have a level, so like it's fine. You run Xiangling. Then of course Bennett has been free before, and you can buy him in the shop, I'm pretty sure. And then Lanyan you get from Lantern Rite, and Xiangling you get from Spiral Abyss. So like these characters are all free. It is worth noting though that like when I do like the damage tests for these, the C6 Xiangling, C6 Bennett, which I showed before, and I'm also pretty sure that I do have C6 Lanyan. So do keep that in mind. Like I have C6 on these characters, right? But you can run a free-to-play team, and I'll really quickly go ahead and show how that works. Alright, so before we go ahead and like showcase the builds, right? Or like how the rotation works, I'll just really quickly showcase the builds. We have Xiangling on 5 lands and a 4-piece Emblem of Severed Fates. We have again Bennett on the same artifacts, same weapon, stuff like that. Then we have Lanyan on a Zagfrax and a 4-piece VV. And it's pretty simple, right? This is like a pretty standard build for these guys. I don't know about Zagfrax, but I like it only because you get like 3 E's, and that's pretty cool. We won't use all of them in this like run, but it's just to like show you guys how it works, right? So I'll go in, and let's see how much damage we can do. We start with the E again. Pop the stuff. Pop this stuff. Xiangling. Now we go in here. Boom boom. 33k. Again, like as you can see, we didn't do nearly as much damage, but we still did a pretty good chunk of damage there, right? Like, it's not half like we did earlier, but it's pretty damn good, right? Okay, so, with all of that out of the way, I think it's time we finally do the thing that you've all been waiting for. I mentioned it at the start of the video, but I've got to crown Diona's normal attack. As you can see, for the fully charged aim shot, which is what we'll be using, this is a 12% damage increase, which is pretty damn nice, right? It does eat up a lot of my Mora, but it's fine. It's not like I'm building other characters or anything, guys. Oh, that hurt. Okay, cool. So now we have a crowned Diona. Let's go. So yeah, that is the Diona build. We'll briefly just showcase how much damage she does now on like the premium build and see if it does any difference at all. Pop Maurika. Now we go in. 1, 2, 3, 4. it doesn't look like it did all that much difference, to be honest, guys. I don't know. It's still around halfway. Alright, guys. So like, I real quickly just like, I'm sitting here editing the video, right? And like, as you can see, like the most damage that like I did during this video was 46k, right? I think it's like over here or something. She does 46k. Yeah, it's over here. She does 46k. You can see. Over here, and she does that burst, and then here, 46k, right? That's the most damage we did this round here. But then I went back to like the last video that I made, like the Diona main DPS 1, right? And for comparison's sake, the largest number I hit on that video was 38k, like almost. It's one off, 38k, right? That's the largest number that I hit. So like, we did hit like a 8k damage increase during this video per charge attack, which is pretty nice. The one thing that I will say though, I did this against Mercenary, but like when I tried doing this against Mercenary, I literally just like got completely destroyed. I couldn't handle this guy. So I think I've literally just got like substantially worse at playing Genshin Impact. I don't know, man. Like I'll just quickly mute this thing, right? But like I'm queuing this guy. Like look at it. Like it's not even difficult for me. Like I'm just like dodging everything, and like I know I have Zhongli on the team here, right? But like how the hell? Like okay, so of course like another thing that I didn't really think about is like Shenhe actually works pretty well with Xiangling, which I can see I did in this video here. So if you want to do that, you can probably do that as well. The main problem with Shenhe, which I wrote on text earlier during the editing phase, is that like Shenhe applies a lot of cryo, so it'll be hard to melt. That means that you probably won't be able to use Shenhe with like Moika or Shenyan or something like that. But Xiangling applies like a crap ton of pyro, and as you can see in this arena, that might also have helped. The grass is burning. Mercenary is standing and burning grass right now, right? So like, if you're playing Overworld, Shenhe is probably fine, to be honest, if you want to. And like, you can pyro Xiangling, or like in the future if there's like an off-field pyro character that does a lot of like pyro damage and stuff, you might be able to do something there, right? So like, you'll have to experiment with that by yourself, because like right now there isn't really anyone other than Xiangling that can do this. But yeah, Shenhe is actually a pretty decent option in that case, right? So yeah. Alright guys, so with that, the video is pretty much done. As I just talked about, like in the editing phase there, you saw the clip where like I was editing. I'm recording a new outro because like the old outro was like before that clip, like and it was pretty bad. So we're doing a new one now. Basically, I think I'm actually pretty happy with like how Diona is performing right now, to be honest. I might, this is a heavy might, because I don't really like Diona as a character, to be honest. I'm gonna be real with you guys, I'm sorry. I know, it's wild. I might actually try investing in her more. Like her artifacts, of course, like her head is like absolutely awful. It has crit rate, which is correct, but then it has zero good stats other than that. I think you can actually like possibly make Diona work now, I think. And I feel like you could probably take her into Spiral Abyss, like, and clear floor 12. Maybe not like the entire half, but like you can probably clear like a single floor with Diona. This Spiral Abyss is like a no-go because like it's heavily favoring like Lunar Blue reactions, and like Diona doesn't do that, so like she's just completely cooked. She can't do shit in the Spiral Abyss. But like otherwise, you could probably do something with Diona, to be honest. And I do feel like if you build her on the meld build, you do have like a pretty good option for like a character you can bring into the theater, right? So that's pretty cool. But yeah, with all of that out of the way, thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe and leave a comment if you want to. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.